I'm Emma from the West End Refugee Service. Welcome to this video about SkillsMatch. We will be looking at how to support people seeking sanctuary into volunteering roles in your organisation. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will better understand the lives of asylum seekers and refugees, you will understand the challenges they may face, and you will think about how your organisation can best support them into voluntary roles. We will briefly look at the asylum system and the challenges faced by those in it. Then I will give some tips on how we could overcome these challenges. Towards the end of the video, we will look at the benefits of SkillsMatch programme for both the organisation and the individual. So we'll start off with some background information on the asylum system. If you would like to support these people in your organisations, it may be useful to have an understanding of the system they are going through. When someone arrives in the UK and claims asylum, they are sent to any region in the UK to live there. They may wait months or even over a year for an asylum interview with the Home Office, and then there will be more waiting for the positive or negative decision. If it is a positive decision, that means this person becomes a refugee and is able to stay in the country. If it is negative, they have been refused and are able to appeal this decision. This whole process may mean this person is in limbo for several years. Now I'm just going to show you a couple of graphs to give some more information. Firstly, this one shows the support available to people seeking sanctuary. I know it can be quite overwhelming to look at, but I'd just like to point out that people who are in the asylum system cannot legally work, and that is where volunteering can come in handy. After 1 year of being in the country, people can apply for the right to work, but there are limits on the type of job you can do. Once you've been recognised as a refugee, you get the right to work in any job. I'll also draw your attention to the fact that adults who are seeking asylum cannot study in college until they've been in the country 6 months, which means when many people first arrive, they struggle to integrate and have lots of free time. This is showing the types of asylum support people get while awaiting their decision from the Home Office. Again, I'll just point out a couple things. When someone is living in a hotel, usually where people are placed first, they receive as little as £8.86 a week. In some circumstances, they receive no money at all, although hopefully this doesn't last long. If someone is living in a shared house, they receive £49.18 per week to cover things such as food, toiletries, phone bills and Wi-Fi. These numbers do change but are right at the time of making this presentation. So now that I think we understand the situation of asylum seekers a little better, we can move on to some of the challenges that they face. If you would like, pause the video now and discuss any challenges that you think asylum seekers may face. Physical illness. Some people suffer from physical illnesses from the change in diet and exposure to new illnesses, among other things. Language barriers. I'm sure you can imagine that people may struggle speaking English. Lack of confidence. When people haven't been in work for a while or feel they are out of place in their new home, they often suffer from a lack of confidence. Cultural differences. It can take some time for people to get used to the UK culture. Poverty. We already saw the little amount of money people have to survive on. Trauma. Many in the asylum system will suffer from trauma from their home countries, but also from the journey to the UK and sometimes even from experiences whilst resettling here. Issues with mental health. It is very common that people seeking sanctuary suffer from ill mental health. Racism. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of racism to contend with here in the North East, and people may receive negative comments and abuse from strangers. Isolation. Of course, being away from all your family and friends and support networks will make you feel very isolated in a new country. And I will just add here some challenges more related to volunteering. Short notice relocation. Many asylum seekers are subjected to short notice relocations, meaning they can be moved to another area with very little notice. References. People struggle to obtain references if they are new to the country and may have lost contacts from their jobs back home. So now I would like to give some ideas of what we can do to make our organisations more accessible. Always reimburse travel and a meal if volunteering over mealtime. If people living in hotels miss a meal, then they have missed that meal for the whole day. We found that people with less English may benefit from doing more practical tasks, using your hands to show someone what to do so they can copy. Things like gardening, fixing things and painting are good examples. Use a buddying or mentoring system. This allows the individual to have a familiar face in your organisation. This mentoring role might appeal to some of your more experienced volunteers who fancy an extra challenge, or it could be that 2 volunteers join at the same time as buddies because they share a language. Train staff to be trauma-informed and informed of the asylum system. All staff and volunteers to understand your EDI policy and adhere to it. Understand that allowances may have to be made for people. A volunteer who is usually reliable may have a last-minute appointment or relocation. Finally, it would be really amazing if volunteers from an asylum-seeking background were supported in gaining any qualifications or given opportunities to upskill themselves. There are lots of benefits of SkillsMatch. For your organisation, you will widen your pool of volunteers, which will mean you will have a more diverse workforce, and this is beneficial to your clients. Many people seeking sanctuary will speak more than one language, a very useful skill for any organisation. They will provide skills, and they will be glad to make use of them. Volunteers will be committed to complete the work you've given to them, and you'll be given opportunities to those who need them. For the volunteer, there will also be many benefits, including filling spare time they have and integrating into society. Hopefully they will feel a part of your community and meet some local people, practice English and make some friends. They will have some experience to add to their CV so they don't have a gap when they can't work. Volunteering will lead them to having more contacts in the UK and a reference for when they do apply for a job.
I also just wanted to give an example of a successful SkillsMatch placement. A few months ago, we supported a lady who came to this country very educated in conservation, wildlife management, and she actually holds a PhD in ecology from her home country. And now she's volunteering for 3 organisations, the Durham Wildlife Trust, Tyne Derwent Way, and the Wild Oyster Project. So in these placements, she's able to contribute her skills to real conservation work, as well as build valuable experience here in the UK to put on her CV. So now I just want to give some examples about how some organisations have been making changes so that their voluntary roles are more accessible to our clients. North East Museums have added a detailed description of the level of English language needed to perform each voluntary role. This helps people to see which roles are suitable and to understand that their level of English does not need to be a barrier. Because of our partnership with the Baltic Art Gallery, I'm able to arrange for a group of people to join them for a volunteer induction at a set time where they can see the space and meet the staff. Then they can receive support for filling in forms. Going in a group like this can help people feel more confident, especially when they may have met each other before. And after a friendly, informal introduction, people are more likely to continue into volunteering. Recycle Bike and Biker were able to put on dedicated sessions to support those seeking sanctuary into volunteering. One morning a week, refugees and people seeking asylum were invited to take part in learning how to fix and build a bike.
We are nearing the end of the video now, so thank you so much for watching. But I just thought I'd show you some of the organisations who have already taken some of our volunteers. Finally, I will let you know how to sign up. Contact us on this email and let me know what opportunities you have available. I will add them to our database, and when someone is interested, we will support them with the application and induction if needed. If you have an event or one-off volunteering opportunity, we can put a call out for a number of volunteers to support. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm very open to chat with anyone who is interested or has further questions.